Hey everybody, it's Kevin from class. I wanted to make a little video because I get the feeling that there is quite a bit of stress going on about the math side of things. If you've figured out a way to be able to do the problems and you've got your head wrapped around it, that's fantastic. Go ahead and stop watching now because I don't want to confuse you. I don't want you to get more of a headache than you probably already have. Um, so, but if you're still struggling, I'm hoping that this video will end up helping kind of explain things a little bit more and kind of help you get through this and kind of get the ideas and the concepts kind of wrapped around in your brain. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. First basic problem. Whoops. Nope, I want to use my stylus. There we go. Okay, first basic problem. 5 plus 8. We all know this one is going to end up being 13. But what I want to talk about here is what we are actually doing. Okay. We are taking in this equation, we are taking a positive 5 and a positive 8, and we are adding it together. This part and this part are values, integers, values, whatever you want to call it, numbers. This is going to be your operation. This is what you're doing with these values. And I know that seems really, really basic, but when you get problems like this, where you end up having negative 17 minus a negative 8, you're looking at this and you're like, oh my goodness, there's too many negatives. I don't know which way I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. Stop, take a deep breath. Remember, that has got to stop. Remember that this is the same as this. You are taking a negative 17 and a negative 8, and you are performing subtraction. That is always going to be your operation. This is always going to be your value, and this is going to be your value. Here's another problem. Negative 5 plus 8. Value, value, operation. 8 plus negative 7. Value, value, operation. These concepts are important to be able to understand, because when we get into the negatives and which way do I go, and is it going to be positive, is it going to be negative, what is going on, this will help you just understand what you're dealing with. So let's go back to our basic problem. 5 plus 8. One way to be able to look at this is that if you take and you don't necessarily need to even put in the tick marks, but if you take a number line and you have 0 to 5, okay, that's value number 1. Value number 2 is going to end up being 0 to 8. If you look at this in a sense of movement, it's going to help you along the way. Since this is a positive value, you are moving in this direction. And since you were adding, you are going to move 8 spots in this direction to 13. It's just like in football, which is what I was talking to a couple of the students, a couple of my fellow colleagues after class about. If you're on the 5-yard line and you run the ball for 8 yards, you're going to be at the 13-yard line because you're moving the ball that direction. Let's do another problem. Let's throw in some negative values. Okay. No, I don't. What are we doing here? I don't know why I deleted that. Okay. Make sure I'm still recording. Okay, still recording. We're good. Okay, so 5 plus a -3. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go value number 1. Value number 2 is going to start at 0, and it's going to go backwards 3 spots to -3. Okay, since we are adding, we are going to start here, and we are going to move backwards this amount. So we're going to move backwards -3, which would give us 2. Let's do another one. Let's go -6 plus, we'll go 11. Okay. Again, we're gonna mark out our 2 values. Whoops, I did that wrong. So we're gonna go 0. We're going to go out to -6. And you don't even necessarily need to start at the 0 and go this direction, because it really doesn't make a difference. You can make this one completely separate and just go like this, 11. The point is that you know that you are going this direction with this value. Since we're adding, we don't need to change anything. So with this 6, since that's our starting point, we're going to go that direction 11 spots. We know that 11 is greater than 6, so we have to cross the 0. And then all we have to do is find out the difference between these two. And we know that this ends at 5. Seems pretty simple. Let's go with something a bit harder. Let's go with -17 plus a -14. Let's make our little values here. There we go. We know that we're moving that direction. We don't need to change anything because it's addition. So we continue to move, since 17 is our starting point because it's our first value. We're going to start at 17 and we're going to move backwards 14 spots. So 17 plus 14 is going to end up being 31. -31. Okay. Now subtraction ends up getting a little bit more tricky. But all you've got to do is just remember that when you are subtracting, you are reversing directions. So let's take a look at this one more time. We're going to go with a basic problem just to where I can get the concept down. 5 minus 2. Okay. 0 to 5. 0 to 2. Because this is a positive 2. We are moving in that direction. However, because we are subtracting, if I can get my thing to circle, because we are subtracting, we are reversing direction. Doesn't mean we're always going to go this direction, but in this case, we are reversing direction. So if that's the case, we need to go backwards 2 spots. 5 minus 2 is 3. Let's see if this works with a negative number. 18 minus a -4. 18. 0, -4. We are moving this direction. But since I'm subtracting, I'm going to switch roles. Now I know I need to go this direction 4 spots to 22. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I really hope this is working out for everybody. Let's try negative 15 plus, whoops, what am I doing with a plus? I'm crazy. It's way too late at night. Negative 15 minus 31. Whoops, what am I doing? Negative 15 minus 31. Okay, so we're going to break out our number line again. Now, you can take this as a negative, and I will get to that here in a second. But let's just, for right now, because we have this as our actor, let's keep things simple. Let's make that a positive 31. Okay. We are moving in this direction. However, since we are subtracting, this baby's going to go backwards. So that means that we need to go backwards 31. Oops. So 15 plus 31 is going to be a negative 46. Because of the fact that we are subtracting, we have to move the opposite direction of this value. Let's do another one. Negative 17 minus negative 5. Let's do our number line. 0. We're going to go backwards to negative 17. This one is negative 5. We moved that direction, but since we are subtracting, we're going to go that direction, which means that we need to go this direction 5 spots. And since 5 is less than 17, we're going to stay on this side of the 0. So we're just going to be right at 12. Now, I know we were talking earlier in class about how this, let's see if I can do this right, equals the same as this. That's not, it equals the same, but it's not the same, because these are two different operations. Now, with both of these, because of the fact that we are right here on the 8, both of these, we have a negative 17. With a negative 17, if we are subtracting, we are going to move that direction. So we're reversing the direction we're going to end up moving. With this one, we don't have to reverse anything because we're already moving in the right direction because we're adding. So again, it's the same thing, but I don't want you to end up getting confused by it. If this is something that is confusing you in the process, get rid of it, throw it in the trash can. Do this. Gone. Wiped out. Okay, because I don't want you to get confused by this. This should be as easy as possible so that we can get through this all together. one of the problems we end up running into is that we will go and we will take and do a problem and we'll say 17 minus, we'll say, I don't know, 23. And we'll do all the math and we'll quickly put it down and we'll say that the answer is 6. Well, if you're running into a problem like that where you're getting the answer right, but you're not putting the right digit in place, then this number line concept will end up helping in the process, because you'll end up taking this negative, or this 17 minus 23, and you'll put it on your number line, 0, 17. That's our starting point. 0, 23, but we need to go backwards because of the negative. So go backwards 23 spots. Since 23 is bigger than 17, we know we're going past the 0 mark. So when we find out the difference so that we can get the number right, we know it has to be a -6 because it's in negative territory. It can't be a +6 because this number is bigger than that one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No. Okay. I really hope this helped. If you have any questions, you can let me know. If you think I'm an idiot for posting this, you can let me know too. So I really hope this ended up helping. Keep your heads up. If you have questions, ask one of us. Like, I'm sorry, I'm still struggling with this. Can you help me? We're all in this together. We are working as a team. And yeah, that's what Pathways is all about. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.